When you hear the word elf, what pops into your head? My guess is graceful, pointy-eared archers from some fantasy epic. Well, today we're going to peel all of that back, strip away the modern fantasy, and dig right down to the ancient, powerful source. We are unearthing the original elves of Norse mythology, the Álfar. Just listen to that line. It captures the incredible scale of what we're talking about here. See, you have to forget about simple little creatures in the woods. To the Norse people, the Álfar were fundamental, cosmic forces. They emerged from the very breath of creation at the dawn of time. They weren't just in the world. They were the world's magic, given form. So yeah, let's start at the very beginning. The most important thing to get your head around is that the Álfar weren't just another type of spirit. No, they were seen as primordial beings woven into the very fabric of creation, from this mystical union of divine will and the raw forces of nature. And for the ancient Norse, this wasn't just some fairy tale. The Álfar were a vital bridge, a living connection between the divine realm of the gods up in Asgard and the humble hearts of humanity down in Midgard. They were seen as these incredibly powerful spirits tied to the most fundamental things in life, the fertility of the land, the health of your livestock, and even the souls of your most revered ancestors. But here's the thing. The Álfar were not all one and the same, not at all. They were actually defined by this powerful duality, a deep split between two very different kinds of beings, one of brilliant light and one of deep shadow, each commanding its own domain and its own kind of power. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have the Leoselfar, the light elves. These were beings of pure radiance, literally described as fairer than the sun, living up in the heavens. And on the other side, the Dökkalfar, or dark elves, masters of stone and metal from the deep earth, said to be as dark as pitch. Two sides of the exact same cosmic coin. The Leoselfar were the shimmering guardians of the natural order. Their home, Alfheimr, was this beautiful celestial plane, and it was actually gifted to Freyr, the god of fertility, as a tooth gift. Like a traditional present you'd give an infant when their first tooth comes in. It just goes to show their deep, deep connection to life and growth. And to get their favor, people would hold a sacred ritual called the Alfblot, a special sacrifice to ensure the health and prosperity of their household, especially through the long, dark winter. Now, beneath the world, way down in the dark, quiet places, that's where the Dökkalfar lived. In a lot of the old sources, they were basically indistinguishable from the dwarves of Norse myth, crafting incredible wonders deep inside the earth. Their power wasn't in sunlight and things that grow, but in the hidden mysteries of the world below, the soil, the veins of metal, the secrets held inside solid stone. They were a constant reminder that immense power can hide in silence and shadow. So you've got these two immensely powerful forces living right alongside humanity. And as you can probably guess, the relationship, well, it wasn't always simple or safe. It was a complex, really delicate, and often pretty dangerous dance. You could say their relationship was defined by its total unpredictability. The Álfar could be the source of a sudden, mysterious sickness. They even had a name for it, an elf shot. But they could also grant miraculous healing to anyone they favored. They were a true dual-edged sword, almost like a parable for nature itself. It can give you life, but it can also take it away in a heartbeat without any warning. And this is where that blurred line gets even more fascinating. The sagas actually tell stories of humans and elves having children together, and these offspring would have this incredible, innate, magical intuition. There was even a belief that a truly great and noble person could actually ascend after death and become an elf themselves. So you see, the elves weren't just strange neighbors. They were potential ancestors, potential descendants. They were a fundamental part of the human experience. So here's the critical question. How in the world do we know any of this? How did these incredible stories survive for centuries without just getting swept away by time? Well, the answer lies in a couple of ancient texts that managed to capture these oral traditions right before they faded away. Our main windows into this lost world are two collections, the Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda. These are absolutely essential because they recorded centuries of stories that were only spoken aloud. Then, in the 13th century, an Icelandic historian named Snorri Sturluson did the incredible work of codifying them, basically creating a structured encyclopedia of the entire Norse cosmos and all its inhabitants, including, of course, the Álfar. And when you read those verses, you realize the elves aren't just minor characters in the background. They are absolutely essential threads in the grand tapestry of the nine worlds. They weave their magic and their influence through every single layer of existence, from the highest branches of the world tree all the way down to its deepest roots. The whole thing would unravel without them. All right, so we've explored the ancient origins, the light and the dark, the whole complex relationship with humanity. Now, let's connect the ancient Álfar directly to the fantasy and culture that we all know and love today. This image we've been building of these powerful cosmic beings tied to nature, both beautiful and dangerous, existing on the very edge of the human world, that is an incredibly potent archetype. It's an idea that didn't just fade away when the Vikings did. It evolved, it got passed down through folklore, it was transformed by new cultures, and eventually it became the foundational DNA for the elves that populate our favorite books, movies, and games right now. And the most famous example, the one you've probably been thinking of, is of course J.R.R. Tolkien. He was a brilliant scholar of Old Norse and ancient mythologies, and he deliberately drew from the Eddas, the ethereal, wise, and powerful elves of Middle-earth, their connection to light and shadow, their slow fading from the world of men. All of it has its deepest roots planted firmly in the soil of Scandinavian myth. And this legacy endures for a very good reason. The idea of the elegant, magical elf, this direct descendant of the Álfar, it continues to resonate with us because it taps into something fundamental, our deep fascination with the natural world, with the unseen forces that shape it, and that lingering sense of magic that might just exist at the very edge of our own reality. It really makes you think, doesn't it? When we dive into the myths and stories that we love today, how many of them are just the latest chapter in a story that began thousands of years ago? How many are just the echoes of a forgotten world, still whispering to us even now?